Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2021 to Organic as Fuck Talk. We are happy to be here. We're happy to see you. I'm Pretty B Baby.
And I am the Love Bug. Welcome.
Yes, welcome, you guys.
Welcome. So this is our first recorded episode in 2021, right? And we are discussing boundaries. Okay, boundaries. Are we gonna get right into the vibe of the day before we hop into it? My vibe of the day for today is a supplement. It is organic lion's mane. It's called Smart Shrooms by Dr. Emil, and it's just basically the lion's mane mushroom concentrated, and it is so great for your memory and brain support. And I mean, it's just a really great supplement. So that is my vibe of the day for today. Okay, that is all I got for y'all today. That is some good old Crystal Geyser.
yes. So I have a couple of vibes today. One of my vibes you guys always see here is my sign that says love. I'm in a love vibration today. Really vibrating really high. Another vibe of the day that I have here, I only could bring a couple of items. So it is just a couple, because I ordered like $400 worth of stuff. I love this company. It is Organi Grow Hair Co. I love this brand. It is amazing. And this was my first time ordering the facial, the Ultra Hydro Facial, so facial cleanser. And I've been using nothing but these products all together on my hair, my skin. I ordered the body wash, the lotion. I have it all. I have even the hand soap, and it is amazing. It's created by Kaola, who I adore, off of Instagram. And her products are all natural, vegan, and it's the true plant-based. Like, it's really good. It feels good. And I got another vibe of the day.
Okay, all right.
I got a few. I got my Seamoss smoothie I made that has watermelon. I have some Garden of Life protein powder, coconut water, some blueberries, and some, did I put strawberry? No. I have blueberries, and then I also have watermelon and cantaloupe frozen.
That's what's up.
And I'm enjoying that. And then my last vibe of the day, y'all know I always gotta do a song. I always gotta get us there. And this vibe reminds me, it's not Throwback Thursday today, but it's my throwback because it just put me in a zone of remembering what type of motivation I had during this time with this song, and my life was just not all together, and I still was working my way through the journey, but this song just reminds me to go forward.
Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some Marvin, Gaye, and Chardonnay. Hold up.
That was a fun year for me.
Okay, that's what's
and
up.
I don't even fully remember what year that was released. I literally will have to Google it, but just the memories when I hear that song.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah, memories attached to songs always be hella dope, right? I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go Big Sean. Go Pretty B.
Yes, girl.
Right. So, boundaries. Boundaries.
It's so many. It's so much that we can speak on with boundaries. From boundaries with work, time, yourself, relationship, intimacy, just so many things about boundaries. So I'm excited about this episode and this conversation, organic as fuck conversation about boundaries.
Right, it definitely should be jogged. So I would like to start off, if you don't mind, with the definition of boundary. A line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line, right? a limit of a subject or sphere of activity. So a boundary, we can tell, is a limit. It's a line. It's an area that one does not want to cross. The first thing that comes up for me, okay, is learning how to set boundaries, right? I think that this is one of like your first lessons, challenges, something that you need to learn in early adulthood, because well, actually before then, but I'll start here in early adulthood, because before then you start to figure out how to build boundaries in your childhood with your friends and things like that. But I think the more challenging one, maybe for most people, is when you start to have to establish different type of boundaries with your parents, especially if you have a parent that is not quite ready to let go of you, and it's just not quite ready to let go, and they kind of overstep their boundaries. You know, some parents have keys to places and they show up unannounced and just different things. So that was one of the thoughts that come up for me, because I feel like that's the area where you start to really come into your own. Like, you know, friends and things like that, you might have a few people that try to cross boundaries and you have to be like, whoa, but not too much. I think it doesn't feel like a real level up until you establish the I am adult relationship with parent.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And it's probably the hardest for a lot of people, is to kind of,
it's the hardest one.
Yeah, because it costs you to stand your ground against your own parents, you know, but you have to, you know, go with your spirit and what you know, what you're trying to read.
And not just in a forceful way. You don't have to have a parent that's just constantly trying to be in your space. It could be that marking moment between when they realize that you got this and you've shown that you can handle it. It could just be a basic conversation where they're asking questions and probably kind of digging into the business just to see where your head is at, just to see if you're ready to accept that because of what they've known of you before in the past. And in your response, can set boundaries that let them know that you got this from here. This particular subject or whatever it may be, and that parent doesn't have to parent you in that way. So it's not necessarily like, I don't think boundaries is always like a response to a intrusion into my space and my what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think it's always that.
No, it's not. Sometimes, it's not always like someone's intruding your space. Sometimes boundaries are things you set for yourself, and you just don't allow others to cross them. And it's not something you have to go out and say like, I set this boundary for this, you know. So it's not always in that matter. Yeah.
I drew a line, cross this motherfucker if you want to. Because I mean, outside of that, the other side of it, I think, is when you start to enter into more intimate relationships too. I don't want to jog all over the friendship thing though, because I feel like there's a level of friendship when you find boundaries, right? Because if you had like these friends, this was one of the things that came up with me and a lot of my friends, right? You guys from, let's just say, elementary, junior high, high school, especially from junior high to high school, you guys are used to taking each other's time. Y'all used to having that my feet up on the wall conversation, like, girl, let me tell you about these new changes in my life, and let me tell you about my butterflies, and guess what he said? And it's a lot of this just like all day, all the time. And then you get a little bit older and life starts to change a little bit, and you can't have, it could be because you're working, because you got family, because you're studying, because you're now in a relationship. You can't really have that same foot on the wall conversation as often as you used to. And some friends will say that you are different and you've changed, and they can't take the transition. And it's like, you got to kind of set the boundaries a little bit, like, hey, you know, at this time, let's just say you switched up because now you have a family and kids. At this time, it's my family dinner time. And this is, you know what I mean? That's a boundary. in a way.
And
Yeah.
no, and just what I've learned to do, because on my journey, like for one, I'm a person that does like time to myself. And just respecting when you understand time, energy, love, and things like that. Some people feel neglected, like, oh, you don't call, you don't check. It's like, no, like, and also I'm one that learned on the journey, like if someone doesn't call for a long time or they're taking time for themselves, I'm not offended by that. I didn't do anything to you. Why would I be offended by it? I've learned to respect other people's time, which is a boundary. Other people's time they need for themselves. Somebody might not feel like talking to the world. It's not that they don't love you or don't wish you well. They may be going through stuff, especially in this time. You have a lot of people going through a lot of mental, emotional things. So people take things really offensive very quickly. And I've learned as I got older, we've all been there. I've learned as I've got older not to do that, because I understand what energy is and I know what recharging is. And I know with taking that time where there might be a day I don't want to speak because maybe I'm in a space of working with my feelings, and I understand what speaking does. I understand manifesting. I understand speaking things into existence. So sometimes I take a while before I just blurt something out or speak because I understand giving things life. So there's certain things I don't want to give life, so I'm not going to speak on it. And so those are the different boundaries with self, which causes you to set boundaries with other people. What I've learned. And I think people get offended. They do. They think like, oh, well, you don't, not me per se, but I've heard people say this, like, no one calls and check on me, or they feel, and they may do feel at that time, but also you don't know what someone else is going through mentally. So I try not to say things like that to people. Like if my friends don't call for a long time, it's not that I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about them. And sometimes I like to give people their space because I understand growing, and energy. And so it's like,
I'm glad you said that.
I like sometimes, like before, of course you have to transition getting older, because younger you are used to being with your friends, you used to them answering at the drop of a dime, or you used to people just calling and checking in on you. I like to have the understanding where if I don't call you for a while, it doesn't mean I don't love you any less or I didn't think about you. I love you. I might be in a space or I might be giving you your space. Also, I'm an empath, so I understand energy and feel energy. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take time to myself sometime, or understanding where you at, and I can feel that, I'm like, oh, because people don't sometimes know that they want to talk it out. And me understanding how important energy is like sometimes you have to back away so they can sit with themselves to think about it, so that they don't accidentally manifest something that they're not understanding they're giving life to at the same time.
As you were talking about that, I thought about, just graduating from high school, being 18, and I was one of those. We graduated in June, and I had my first apartment in August, right? And I had all of these relationships. Like, this is why I'm so glad you said that, because it made me think about this. I had all of these relationships, these friendships that used to calling me to vent, complain about whatever it was going on. It wasn't a problem, right? Used to calling me to interpret their dreams and stuff in the morning, all of those things. It wasn't a problem. At this time, I didn't know that I was an intuitive empath. I had no idea really what it was. I just was being myself and who I was. But I started getting into an area where I was extremely drained, right? Because after some time, think about it. Everybody's calling you to talk about what they need to talk about, what they need help with you know what I mean, issues. This is the dream I had. This is all of my baggage, basically, like, you know, and I didn't understand energy at that time. I didn't know how to observe and allow it to pass through. I didn't know, like I said, that I was an intuitive empath. So I started to kind of get into a mode where I was just like, I got to be able to take some time for self. But I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know how to say it because I was already getting a lot of rebuttal. Like what I found out was that I had relationships with a lot of people who felt like they owned me and my time. Like, because I was so available, they didn't have the appreciation or even the thought processes. Listen, I could listen to somebody go on for like hour and a half, and then decide that I want to try and talk about something that concerns me that day, and they gotta go. And that started to make me look at my relationships, and that gets into codependency too, and boundaries and things like that. I didn't know how to express it. So it's like I would try to create these spaces for myself to recharge, but I still would not successfully recharge because I had a guilt feeling that was being pushed upon me from, you know what I mean? So I had to figure out how to separate those things, how to start to set boundaries, and but also how to start to express those things a little bit, like just to say, or just to start to tell people more so like what it is that I'm doing or what I'm into, or even if they didn't understand at the moment or thought that it was something else. I had to learn to start to communicate that so that I wouldn't keep hurting people's feelings, because really, even though they may feel entitled or it may be like an unbalanced relationship, there's still feelings involved. And you know, you being absent can hurt someone's feelings, especially if they don't know what's going on and they're used to a codependent relationship.
Yeah, it can hurt other people's feelings in situations like that. And another thing I like to do now is, like, if my energy is not up to par, I'm not going to interact and bring anybody that type of energy.
Oh yeah.
So I'll take time to myself, because that's me. And if people don't even realize you're respecting them, like, that's me respecting you, because I'm not going to bring you any old type of energy into a situation, even if it's just a conversation. I don't want to bring that to anyone. So I try my best not to do that. And that's setting a boundary with myself. Like, hey,
yeah. And it's not saying that our relationship has changed or that I don't trust you or I don't. It's that now I understand that this is what I need to do with this.
Yeah. It's like that saying, you know better, you do better. And so I can't ignore what I know now. You know, I can't ignore what I know now, but I have greater understanding. Like, if I don't hear from my friends for a long time, I might be like, "Oh, she ain't called me in a minute." And then if I call and they don't, you know, answer, you know, or a relative, it could be a friend, a relative, whoever. I don't take it personal.
Yeah, I don't
because especially if I know, like, for one, because I hear people say this, like, they're mad at me, or this. If you making those assumptions, you're making an assumption. You straight out making an assumption that you don't even know what it is, because you haven't even talked to the person. You just gonna assume they're mad at you. Why? Yeah. Why would you assume that? So, and we've all been here. And the older I got, I realized, like, you can't take it personal, because if you know you didn't do anything, it has nothing to completely do with you. You know what I'm saying? And so. Or if it does, it's up to the other person to communicate that to you, especially if you don't know. So that's my thing. It's just having a boundary for myself, which me setting boundaries for myself helps me respect other people.
Yeah. But I think empaths, right? Especially if you don't know that you're an empath, you have no idea what it is. I think that empaths have a lot of trouble with setting boundaries and kind of taking the time for self to recharge or whatever it may be necessary. Just to kind of separate their feelings from everyone else's. It's so many levels to it. Like, I think empaths probably struggle.
The hardest, like, being an empath. I'm a very intuitive empath. And before, I didn't know. I knew that I could, you know, feel what someone's going through if I'm sitting next to them. I just thought, well, I know they're emotional, or I know their anxiety, or I know they're this. And when people don't understand, when you're that and you're standing next to someone that has high anxiety or is very sad, you feel, depending on the type that you are, you feel that as if it's yours. And if you don't know how to discern whether that's your pain or your anxiety, it is very draining. And now I understand that. I know what I'm supposed to say. I know what I'm supposed to cut off. I know how I have to go, recharge myself and different things like that. And so I now understand that everyone's on a different walk and a different journey. And I don't know where you are in that journey. So I have a great understanding for people. And yeah, like you said, just being an empath is very hard. People don't know that. And we do get it the worst because, for one, being that you have a lot of people attracted to want to tell you a lot of things anyway. Then younger, I didn't realize, like, I'm taking on their feelings like it's mine. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it feels, and you're not able to discern yet. And so I had to set boundaries, quietly to myself first and go, no, wait, you need to create this time for yourself. Or you know what? Don't pick up that phone right now and call, because you need to sit with that, and you don't need to
sit with it. What I had to start doing to release the guilt was I just wouldn't look. Like it doesn't matter who it is. I can't see it. I'm not looking. So when you're like, you ignored, like, nah, listen, I ignored all my calls. It was not just you.
It was not just you. And I rarely do that. Like if I'm taking time for myself, I'm definitely gonna call you back, afterwards. Plus, I'm living in another state now, and I have family and different certain calls I have to actually answer. But yeah, it's just like if I have my phone on silent, it's not pointed to a person. It's on silent because I created a time slot for myself. I created a boundary for myself, and I'm not looking at like you said, I'm not looking at the phone. So everybody got ignored.
It doesn't have it. Because a lot of people will be like, well, I understand why you wasn't allowing this person in your personal space, but I'm like, woman, it's like, hey, hold up, like, I'm a single entity right here.
And that's entitlement. That's entitlement. You don't get to tell me if I don't care if I want to cut one person out, two people out, nobody out, or into that space or not. That's another thing people do, is like, you don't get to tell somebody else how to maneuver their lives.
Yeah, no.
If people don't understand love language and accepting what love language you guys are giving each other, and if you like all my friends and all my loved ones, like, I understand I have different relationships with everybody. I don't love anybody less. We just have all different relationships, and I respect all of those different relationships. Like I said, if someone don't call me for all that, call me, like, I'm like, hey girl, like, what's going on with you? I'm not thinking bad thoughts. Whereas younger, you used to be with your friends, you sit and you like, oh, they ain't picked up, or they been hanging. I don't think those thoughts.
Look, that's friendship. And we jogged the parents a little bit. I don't know what it's like. I know what it's like to have a parent who feels like they could just throw everything at you, right? I don't know what it's like to have a parent that's intrusive, like crossing the boundaries. Like, I've heard stories with some people, like how parents are as grandparents. I think I maybe have a taste of that. And them not wanting their kids to do certain things, and they're like, mom, no, or dad, no, I don't want the baby to have that. And the parent is like, I'm the grandparent, and they gonna give it to them anyway. I can't really jog that area too much. I don't really know what it's like to be.
I can't really jog that area either, because I don't have intrusive parents. I don't have children, so I don't. And then my parents with their grandchildren, from what I see, but also I'm not my nieces and nephews' mother and father either, dealing with it from that perspective. I don't see, and I don't experience that, so I really can't really speak on that portion either. I've seen it with other people, like friends and other family members and things like that. But as far as my own parents, I don't really have any. I love the relationship with my parents. They're not intrusive, and if I need them, then I ask them questions and things like that. But
Yeah. But it exists. It would be cool to if one of the organitics who could chime in
yeah, if
on
somebody's
what that's
not
like.
scared to get on and talk about that with the
Yeah.
parents.
Or even
I
just in the
understand.
comments,
Look,
transition through what that's been like. Like I know people have
yeah.
narcissistic parents, have different things. As I heal and mend my relationship with parents. Oh, I saw something really cute the other day. It was cute, and I don't know if it's on topic, but I'm gonna share it. Okay.
Okay.
So it was a friend's birthday party, and we did like this little video recording where we danced across the camera. And
I
posted
seen it.
it.
You guys are so cute. Yes. I seen it. I seen it on Facebook.
I posted in the story, and my dad sent me a message, and it said, "Stop being fast." And I thought it was the cutest thing because, like I said, first off, I'm not really fast, so it was funny, right? Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to get fat, but okay, so it was funny.
No, I want to piggyback on that really quick before you go on to your other story, because it was so funny. On my birthday, my brother FaceTimed me, and of course, those who know me see my pictures on Instagram, and so I was feeling big, 35 and sexy, and so I had on a button up with a cute bra, and you can see the bra, and it was unbuttoned. So my brother went to FaceTime me. And my dad, my dad is there with him. My dad's like, button up all that stuff. Why do you cover that up while you're talking to me on FaceTime? And I'm like,
put those away.
Cover that up. And I thought, it's cute. He does that. Cover that up while I'm on FaceTime with you. While I'm looking at you.
I thought about it. I'm like, my dad don't want to see me throw that thing in a circle. Like, I wasn't really going in.
Because it's respect. Like, my dad don't want to see the girl sitting up. He's like, cover all that up.
Put that away. Yeah. So I thought it was cute, and I'll say it filled a childhood pocket in a way, in a sense. It put a coat over some things because, luckily I wasn't fast, you guys. I wasn't fast. But I didn't grow up with my dad in the household. So those are some of the things that you get with dad in the household. So I took it all the way to heart. Like, I loved it. I was just like, okay, all right. I laughed. My response was, like a laugh, but I literally wholeheartedly respected it, laughed at it. I had many feelings. So, I didn't feel like I could have been like, hold up, whoa, boundary or something, but I didn't feel like that. I felt like it was.
I immediately was like, okay. So
put them away, Yeah.
Like, gotta respect it. Like, if I was a dad, I guess I wouldn't want to see my daughter with even at 35 boobs and that. So
right. Okay. So I know one of the reasons why we picked this topic though was because we were talking about relationships and shit, and we were like, we need to get into boundaries. And what that looks like. And I think that that's probably one of my areas that I struggle with the most, with establishing and finding self boundaries, because in relationships, my initial energy in relationships was give, be, figure out. Like, it was a lot. Like, I'll say my first serious relationship. Early on, my early relationships, I was loved. Like, I was loved. You know what I mean? Like, I was spoiled. I was catered to on so many levels. I didn't really have to try and find the boundaries. I needed to be given boundaries, because we talked about that, right? I would be like calling to get my little smooch on while my high school sweetheart was at work, and he didn't mind, but it was just like, fuck, like, can a nigga work? But later, I needed to find boundaries for self. Like, I needed to find boundaries, and I struggle with those boundaries. I struggle with those boundaries in merging and mixing with another family, right? As you start to have in-laws and things like that, and some of us have in-laws that can be have very strong personalities, and it may be difficult to deal with. I struggle with finding those boundaries and not wanting to be mean and stuff like that. I struggle.
Yeah.
I struggled. I'm telling you, the first time trying to live with someone and figure out like how you live together and still have your whole existence. For some people, it just flows. It's just chemistry, it's just music. But for other people, you know, you have stuff that come up like, why are you hanging out with her? She, you know,
the
garden too. She's a hoe, or whatever else she is, right? She's a, you know, and I don't want you, where y'all going? Like stuff like that. Or as with the guy, you're kind of like, he been hanging out with these dudes, and now you want him to come back at a certain time. So it's like kind of finding and setting understanding and boundaries and things. I struggle with that area. I struggle.
Yeah, I think it's a struggle for everyone, like, because you're trying to be, you know, you're having a balance. It's already a balance with your own family and friends to have boundaries. And now you're in this relationship and intimate and exchanging energies, and then you're like, ooh, googly, you know, and then you're intertwining with other people's families, but you have to, like, it's a, like, it can be a struggle. It's like a give and take. You know,
it can be a struggle, especially for
the balance.
I'm just thinking about people growing up in different situations, because a lot of the boundaries that I struggle with was due to how I grew up. Like, I'm grown enough now to look back at it and possibly be like, you know what, that bitch was stepping all over the little innocent baby within myself, or whatever it is.
Yeah, because people will take advantage. You know,
I didn't know how to set boundaries. Like, this is why it's so important to me that we allow for our children to have a voice in what they feel and validate them with what it is, and further teach them to advocate and speak for self. Because I'm not saying that I was ran all over. Like, listen, I was gonna fight at the drop of the dime, and I think most people knew that about me. Like, I would fight, but we getting to the point of me either thinking you about to put your hands on me, or you put your hands on me. Otherwise, I was constantly turning the other cheek and things like that, and I didn't really know how to. You know, I just did not know how to establish. It was like, I felt like I'd rather just not deal with people who need for you to keep constantly giving them boundaries. That was how I situation.
Because where I struggle with boundaries is because one time before, not now, but I can be extremely nice, or it could go to 1,000. You know, I'm hitting blinds and shit. It can go to 1,000, and so I would not want it to go to 1,000, because you know, just trying to be nice a lot. The dogs are barking on my level. Trying to be nice, and then feeling like being taken advantage of, then you be trying to control it. Like, I'm about to go bad. Like, you know, you're wrong. You know, like.
Yeah,
that's what I think too. Like, I think it is a struggle for a lot of people to set boundaries when you're intertwining, because you want to be really nice and respectful, you know, to that other person and family. But I think it's important to have boundaries and say no, and say, so that you don't get upset about constantly saying yes, and then I think that's what some people comes in resentment. We've all been there. I've been where you're doing all these nice things and for this other person, because you're genuinely doing it. You know, you're intertwining in another family. So I'm talking relationship wise. And then, like, you know that person, or people may be able to call you and ask you for something, but you can never call them. You know, you will build resentment for that. So learn to say no. You know, like, no, I can't do that. No, that's not okay with me. No, don't talk to me like that. No.
Yeah.
Like,
and saying no can be so difficult for some people. I can say no, but there were just certain areas where it would be difficult for me to say no. You know, and it's like I could have hellish shit. It would be inconvenient. It would be a huge inconvenience and not really something that I can do, or maybe I'm not really comfortable with, and I would have a huge problem with saying no and not wanting to disappoint.
Yeah, I think that you said that right on the nose. Like, sometimes you don't want to disappoint, but the older I get, it's like,
right,
you can't be a people pleaser. You know, you can't
disappoint yourself.
Everybody. And for me, it's like, if you don't respect a healthy no, like if why I'm saying no, or why am I saying I can't do this or can't do that, and you don't respect that boundary, then there's no like,
right.
There's no respect there, because you just can't respect somebody saying no. Like, people have a hard time respecting other people saying no, or I can't, or do it yourself. People really have a hard time with that. And it's like they forget they're asking you for something, or they're asking you for help. And if somebody say no, why does it have to be offensive? You know?
Why is it offensive? Yeah. And I said that still knowing, or in my early relationships, I would be like, no, no, you know, socially say no. Yeah, but
with boundaries, period. Once I started to have the understanding that boundaries is tied to love, like loving someone. And if you really love someone, you will respect their boundaries, you know, and you would know it's not personal. If someone's telling you no, or I can't, it might not be, it could be either they emotionally can't, they physically can't, they mentally can't. It's not leaving you in not meant to leave you in a vulnerable space, but that comes back again to, you don't never know what other people are going through, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I try my best not to take like, oh, I can't do this, or I can't come, or I can't, you know, I try not to take those things personal. I work through it, you know, like
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because
I had a period of very high social anxiety, and I didn't know exactly what it was or how to communicate it to everybody. So I would not go to a lot of things because of that feeling that I just had no idea what it was. So I had to learn for myself, and I would get a lot of attitudes. People didn't think I wanted to be their friend anymore. A whole lot of stuff. And it really was that, like, hey, wait, first off, I'm an empath and I don't charge in large groups. So I have a limitation.
Yeah, we're only being drained. Like, it's like having a phone battery. When you're an empath and you're around a lot of people, like, it ain't no charging unless you, like, it's really like, the battery knocks is going down.
Yeah, it's battery knocks. I have to go recharge. But also, I didn't know what social anxiety was or what it could feel like. Like, I just thought like that I had bad nerves or something was, you know, I just felt like something wasn't right. I have bad nerves. I wasn't exactly sure. So I couldn't communicate that. That wouldn't be something that I could be like, well, you know, it makes me feel kind of nervous. It doesn't matter if you know everybody there and you know what I mean? You didn't hung out with them before. So I didn't know how to communicate that. So I'm glad that you said that, because don't take stuff personal.
My thing is, don't take it personal. And we've all been there. We've all took something personal. We've all done it. We didn't just get here on the journey and go, oh, I know how to do this now. You know, like, on my journey, I had to learn, because I had to learn the space I wanted to myself. I had to learn that, like, if I didn't call somebody for a long time, that don't mean I don't love you. I absolutely love you. I need time, you know, like, and so that will make a person feel bad that's already trying to go through something, like, oh my God, these people think I don't love them, I don't want to be their friend, or I don't want to be their loved one, or I don't want, you know, and that's not true. You know, it never, and then my thing is, express it respectfully to the person, instead of you get people like, well, you hung with this person and you didn't hang with me, or I've seen this, or I felt like you was acting like, say, you don't express, say, just that people, I think people are afraid to say what they really feel. I really missed you, and I really felt sad and lonely when you didn't answer my calls. Say that instead of being like, why no invite? Why no? Like, just be like, I kind of felt left out, and I really love to hang with you. Like, is there anything going on? That could start a whole conversation of, oh, you know what? It was not just you. Or maybe I was with this person because I kind of charged with this person, or I'm doing a project with this person, or that's a commitment. I couldn't cut that portion out, out, because that's a certain commitment I have. And I had to find ways around that to recharge myself and kind of cut other things out. Like, have that respect. I think people get it. And I know, like, when people do it, I don't get offended, because I know some people don't know how to express themselves well. For me, in a relationship, like, I have social anxiety too. And people would not know, because I could be very social. And a lot growing up, people just thought, oh, she's really shy. But then if I get to know you, I'm really social. And I didn't know what it was. And I would be feeling all these different things, because I got all these people around me, and I could feel all these different emotions. But I know I'm jumping back and forth, but it's just like, now being 35 and older, it like, if I feel like I could feel like, like, it's to me, it's a constant redirect your thoughts, because your initial thought might be like, why didn't call me heck long? Did I do something? Then you have to redirect your thoughts like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything. Maybe they just need space, and it's nothing to do with me. Let me respect that. I actually had a friend recently call me and tell me, and I hadn't talked to my friend in a while, and said, how that person was affected by when they decided to just, because some people, charging is abrupt. I may not call you back. I might just decide to turn, some people, when they're learning and they're on a journey, they might just cut off their phone and don't call you for a month and don't explain nothing to you. And some of that person, friends, got upset. And what the person told me was, you get it. You understand every time. I don't feel like I have to explain myself. And they went to explain themselves and saying why, why they were in the space they were in. And I think I like that better, when people go, you get it. Or if I don't talk to you for a month and then I'll talk to you, you really get it. I thank you. Thank you for just, answering my call now, because I understand I go in modes where I'm not talking all the time. And that don't mean I could be thinking about people 24/7 all the time, and they wouldn't even know it, but sometimes I'm either in a space, I'm constantly manifesting, and I have different projects going on that I don't talk about. Like, you introduce yourself as an agriculture. They don't know that I do agriculture right along with you on a different perspective. I don't advertise everything that I'm doing by myself, which takes time, and is time consuming. So I think just having a greater understanding, respect, and love, so instead of your first mind being like, you mad at me, or you did this, or you didn't call me, or you didn't check on me, how are you? I think that's what, as friends and in relationships, we need to do more. Instead of first, like, how are you? Is everything okay? And I have a friend that does that all the time. It's more like family. Like, instead, the first thing, if we don't speak for a long time, like, I'm just checking on you. How are you? I love that. Instead of, you mad at me? You acting funny? Like, how are you? And the conversation just flows every time. And that's what I do respect about, like, my friends and my loved ones that I'm really close with. They understand.
I think it's important that we talk about that spiritual journey too, because especially today, right? I think it's a little bit more common for a lot of people to be kind of going through a spiritual journey. And like you said, some people may take their phone and toss it for a month. They may detox from social media. They may, some people announce it. Some people announce, hey, I'm going on a detox. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to be answering my phone that much. If it's urgent, hit me this way. They provide a way for urgency to get through. But right. I think what you said is important, because I know for me, in my spiritual journey, where I was going through a phase, and you can't plan this shit. I was going through a phase in understanding the power of words, and the power of manifesting with your words and stuff, and understanding your thoughts, right? And I literally went through a area where I did not speak. Like literally, let's just say it was a Saturday, it was a Sunday, and I was home. I did not use my voice. And that is how deep my meditative state went, to where I was not talking. To where when I finally parted the universe with my voice, I heard myself differently. And that was just a journey that's just a part of one of the many journeys that I've gone on. So if you have people around you that understand that and don't try to intrude upon your spiritual boundaries, you know, your relationship boundaries or whatever else it is, that's priceless. That is priceless, because for the most part, nobody is really digging and diving into self. And if they are, it could be surface level, and it's not really getting that serious to that journey. And people don't really understand that. Or they can only understand it to a certain extent, and that is when you just have to, like you said, just kind of put the boundary there. If you still love me, you love me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a love thing. Like, I can call one of my siblings or text them, and they might not text me back for a while, you know, and that's fine, because I know what love we have. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people get very in their feelings about things that
they shouldn't.
Because everybody's on a different journey, and that person's journey might say, you don't need to speak to this person right now. It's nothing personal, or you don't need to speak to nobody right now. And then now you're overstepping somebody's spiritual, which is wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. I don't care if you see them hanging out with such and such and you mad because they didn't call you. They doing so. It's not, unless they told you it's personal. I don't take it personal. Unless you came and told me you have a problem with me, then I can address it with you. I don't take it personal. If I'm parting my ways, or I'm setting boundaries, like, oh, I can't, because sometimes setting boundary is like, oh, I can't be like that, can't be like what it was. No love lost, but it can't be like, that's my boundary. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, or like I'm in a space like I don't got time to hate or dislike. I have a lot of things I'm manifesting. So just if I set a boundary, and depending on what the boundary is, it's always out of love. Like, hey, I love you, but I gotta protect my energy at the same time, you know, and protect me on my journey at the same time as that. So I do my best to not be offended. I might tease my sisters or something like, you know, you seen my goddamn call, you know, or what is you doing? You still ain't called me back, you know, or something like that, or say it to you or something like that. But I understand, like, everybody going through. Yeah, I understand everybody going. It's never where I'm going to take it personal. Like, they just mad at me, you know, like, no, because I know I didn't do nothing to you.
Here's the other side of that too. Depending on how intuitive that empath is that's taking their time, that energy that you're directing at them while you're feeling neglected or abandoned or whatever label you want to put on it, and especially if you get on the phone and talk about it to somebody else, but you put in that energy out there, that empath is picking up on that shit. Okay, in some form or fashion. And so, and that type of shit can lead to what makes you feel like, you know what, in this area of my life, in this journey, I really just can't deal with this person, because they're unaware of the energy that they're intruding upon me and my spiritual growth or whatever it is. And so now I gotta do this. I gotta set a different type of boundary for self. And that can hurt your feelings.
It can hurt you because people don't understand energy. And especially, like you said, you an empath, and then you know, being an empath, and then, like you said, somebody else get on the phone talking about something else and don't realize I might don't pick it up immediately, like by word for word, but you pick up the energy, and it will make you don't want to make like, oh no, I can't fool with that person.
I can't do it. I can't do it right now, and it hurts your feelings. It hurts your feelings.
Because I think people forget other people have feelings. They're so consumed in their own feelings and what they feel. And I feel hurt, and I feel this, and I feel that. But you don't take the time to even look at someone else's feelings. You just think about how you gonna express yourself and say how hurt you feel or how wrong you feel you got done, and this and that, instead of having just like a real conversation. And then now it's blown all out of proportion, and then you're saying, people forget sometimes when you expressing how you feel, you can be making somebody else feel, the person you're talking to, feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because I hear a lot of people say, don't nobody give a fuck about, I've heard this from people, don't nobody give a fuck about me. Ain't nobody ever, and I've thought to myself at times like,
what the fuck do you call me sitting right here?
Like, yeah. Like, like sometimes like, damn, that's hella offensive, but I learned like, I don't even take it no more. I take it just kind of like with a grain of salt. Cause I know that some people, you in your feelings and you speaking, and I just know that I choose not to operate like that. And everybody might not know better or know what they speaking over their life. Like, I don't say that. I can remember feeling like that. Because when you're a people pleaser, you're an empath, you're a people pleaser. So somebody might be being mean to you, and you being an empath know that they really hurt, they depressed, and they struggling. You're trying to be really nice to them. Empaths struggle with that too. Because it can be somebody that's shitty, and you an empath, and you like, damn, I understand it's deeper than what they putting on like a face for. So, and you really got to set a boundary, because regardless of what you understand, if they can't pick up what you trying to help or teach them with, and they just got that negative thing going on, you got to kind of step back, because it could put you in a messed up position. And I've been,
you got to understand your boundaries too. If the person is just not there or anything like that, then you have to understand that, and you have to be willing to kind of back away. Which reminds me, it makes me think of a friend who I recently reunited with, or started the reuniting process with. And she was into like a lot of different things early on, and I just was not in a place where I could hear because I was into dream interpretation, right? I learned dream interpretation in my psychology class, and from there I learned that I was pretty good at it. So because I was good at that, she was like, you need to get into these other things. Like at the time it was tarot readings, numerology, shit like that. And I couldn't hear her, and I wasn't in a place where I could understand the culture of those things. And so even though she saw something in me from which she understood, it was killing her, because she was steadily like, come on, I'm literally, when I say buying me books and things like that, she was really serious about it. Like, come on, you gotta do this, and we're gonna do this. And it's just like, I didn't hear it. I knew that I could interpret dreams, but I just wasn't seeing the vision, and because I couldn't see it, I couldn't then therefore change it and create my own vision. So it was just like a no for me. And we actually stopped being friends because of that. And it's you got to understand people where they are. You got to reach them where they are. You got to be able to.
I was just gonna say that you have to learn to meet people where they are, because the type of I am a person that always see good in people. Like, I can see your potential. There's gifts I have. I can see what you're capable of very quickly. I can, read a person very quickly. And so you'll see something in somebody, and like, you see how close it is for them. Like, hey, you got this. and they don't really understand that. And it can be frustrating when you're on that other opposite spectrum, but you have to meet people where I've learned to just meet people where they are like, okay, well, you don't want to do, this is my suggestion, but you don't want to do this. We'll do it like this. Cause they got to go their own journey. You know, but younger, you don't know that
orchestrator.
You just thinking like, oh, you capable of doing, you capable of doing this, and this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you like, you see how good they can do it. You're like, you could do this, and this, and it's not. It's just the potential you see in someone, but they have to be ready, and they have to be. Now that I'm older, I understand that I might see that, but they have to be really prepared. And there's things along their journey that is going to help them prepare for that they got to go through solely.
They got to go through that shit to get them there. Because a lot of people will get at you on some money-driven shit. And most people aren't, especially if it's a gift that you're trying to bring to a money-driven situation. Most people aren't, especially new coming into it, understanding themselves. They're not trying to put that gift on the block to make some money. They're not trying to, so and even though you may see the potential, like, come on, let's go. That's one aspect of it. And like I said, the Most High is orchestrating these things. So you have to let their life take shape as it should be.
It has to take shape. And like you said, especially if it's money driven, I don't care if the person you see potential in doesn't have a lot of money or is not where you deem them to be. There's still things they have to go through along their journey, and you should respect that, because there's a lot of things I'm good at that I will initially do free first and test it out and see, because I believe in giving back. I don't care where I'm at. Not to say it in that sense, like I don't care where I'm at financially, but if it's on my heart, I don't care what you say. If the Most High put it on my heart, do this for free and do this for a certain amount of time and do this like this. I wake up every day, pray, meditate, and that's how my day. That's how I'm driven. So you can be coming to me telling me how much money I need to be making, this, and that, and I will not listen to you, because you don't supersede the Most High in my life. You don't know what journey that I'm supposed to be on. And I've learned that personally. Like, you don't know. You can have so many people looking at you like you should be here or you should be there. No, you think I should be there. The Most High taking me this route, and I'm gonna go on and go over here, because I'm not gonna go with what man, not man as in men, but human, tell me to do. Yeah. Or what you think I should be, or where I should be, or how I should be doing it. Because I'm a person that I can say this for myself, that pray about things that I do before I do it and how I should do it. Yeah. And if it's going to be the longer route and it's going to take me longer to get through what I got to get through to get where I want to be, if you want to talk about quote unquote financially, then let me take my route, because I don't want no shortcuts. Yeah. And I don't want to go ever against what my spirit tell me to do, because what somebody else think I should be doing. I'm never going to stand. That's a huge conflict. That's a strong boundary I developed on this journey. I don't care how it looked to you, and you. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to go against spirit. Yeah. You're not going to get me to go against self. I think once you have that firm foundation and footing in place, that right there, not going against self, is the hugest boundary that you could ever learn to establish. Okay, do not go against self. I tell my daughter this, right? You have a journey, you have a calling, and you have your own walk in your own life. If ever I am asking you to do something that is going against what your spirit is asking, I said, you give me a firm no. You give me a hard ass no. And I'm going to respect it, because you have your own. I could be saying, come and do this and things like this, and it's something that really goes against what you have in your heart. And I may feel that it's good, but it goes against what you have in your heart. Speak out to me. Yeah. I will never ask you to go against self. So we got to keep communication. And I think that's important. And then I think the other side of it is being comfortable enough to say what you see without crossing the boundary.
Yeah, friend, I see I see that you would be really good at this. I think that you could boom, boom, boom without crossing the boundary and being pushy and trying to get them to go against self. So
Or
yes,
or
yes,
in a comparison, because a lot of people will compare, and you never, ever, ever, when you giving somebody advice or you're being motivated, should you be comparing yourself, or you should be comparing anyone to anyone else. We are all special, different spirits that walk through this earth, and never have I ever, or will I ever.
Have I ever?
Y'all know I be 420 friendly, so I'm gonna say will I ever moving forward, because I don't believe I've done this, but I don't if I'm trying to motivate you, or first of all, if you ask my opinion, then I'm gonna give it to you. But I'm gonna tell you, do what is best for you. That's what's best for you. I'm not gonna make you feel bad about whatever you choose to do. That's your business. That's your journey. And if you're gonna either win, it should be because you listen to self, or if you're gonna fall and learn from a mistake, it should be because you listen to self, not because of what somebody else told you to do. And so
that part.
Yeah, I think people, you gotta let people go on and do what they're going to do, so that they can take that, they can be the one to give themselves the roses. If I won, it's because I stuck in here and I won. Of course you want to thank the people around you, but you don't want someone to hold. I would never want some to hold a credit over somebody's head, like, and they feel like they gotta appraise me because I told them to make a decision, whether it was in the case, if it's an appraisal, it's right. No, thank the Most High, because whatever I'm being used for to tell you, that's through that. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people want a say so in other people's personal life. I don't care how it looks. It's not your business. It's not your business to say so, especially if someone didn't ask your opinion.
Right.
And if you, like you said, if you see a potential and you're like, hey, well, I can see this, how could we do this? And if they're not, let them be on their journey. Like, let them be, whatever that looks like for them, let them be. And I think I've got more free in that, being older and going through different things myself. Like, I don't care what this is, leave me alone. If I ain't trying to kill myself, let me be. I'm okay, because everything I do, I pray about. And I don't care how it looks to you or you. Like, it's just like, I'm free in that saying and feeling firm in what I do in my, any type of, all areas of my life. But I didn't get that way until going on a journey and getting older. And and then constantly telling people what you think of them, that's not right. That can easily turn to discourage, versus if you think you trying to encourage, or think what you say is going to govern what that person is. You could be saying the most greatest stuff, and somebody could be dealing with something and being like, I don't even want to hear all this right now, or I'm not in a space, my mind is somewhere else, or I'm being drawn to somewhere else. So you might think I'm lacking in an area, but because one thing I'm gonna tell, I had to sit up for this. One thing I'm gonna tell this group is, something you may think somebody lacking in spiritual work, you can't always see. You can't always, and it's one of the hardest things you can do on a journey is spiritual work. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how hard you go physically working out. I don't care. Spiritual work is the most important thing that drives that. And there's people that have accomplished money, career, business, all that, but didn't do no spiritual work. That does not make you better than somebody that didn't accomplish that, but have mastered in their spiritual work, or y'all just decide to go two different journeys. And people are look at all these societal things to give you your flowers. First of all, I don't need you to give me flowers. I'm awake. I'm well and alive and can possibly give them to myself. I appreciate that.
I am a flower.
I am a flower. And so, second of all, like, just because you're better, just because someone else is better in certain areas, that don't give you a right to feel like you superior. Because, like I said, spiritual work, I can look at someone that, to me, I learn from everybody, right? So that's where I set boundary. Like, some people have boundaries like, I can't learn from that person because who are they? Where are they at in life? And I'll put a boundary on myself like, nah, you could learn from anybody. I talk to people all the time, whether you're a crackhead on the street, whether you say that little sentence, they might say something, or they might look at you and you learn something from that. It doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people feel like because they got certain things that's deemed upon society to be wealthy or successful, that someone that is working on their spiritual stuff, that's something you can't see. And that's something that somebody might not even talk about. And so when you go in on someone and you don't even understand that, and then you have this perception of what you think it looked like or what you think it should be, that's not right. You know, I try not to do that with people at all. And I've had that personally done. So I just have a greater respect for all walks of life.
Yeah.
All walks of life.
Like I don't have the need to judge anyone and say where they are, where they aren't, what they aren't doing. I just don't have the need to do that. And because I know that I've gone through so many different, it's levels to this shift, you know, and I know that I've gone through so many different phases. And the next thing is, you know, the spiritual journey. You really could not be the same person that you was last week. So
we can't make this shit up. We can't make
me to reintroduce myself, you know. So that I just don't have the need to judge or anything else like that. But I do have the need to control the energy around me and the energy that I bring.
Correct.
Responsible.
And I will take myself out of the situation very quickly if I feel like my energy is being compromised.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very quickly.
Yeah. So that's what's up. I think we jogged that well.
I think we really did.
Relationships, parents, you know. Yeah. You know, I was trying to think of my other behind the scenes vibe right now. It's some Petrified Wood. I wasn't gonna show it. Like I've just been holding it in my hand, and
that's so dope. That's dope.
It is a very highly grounding stone. It's just basically fossilized wood that has developed some quartz into it, and it's kind of holding this is kind of the same as like putting your feet in the dirt and sitting underneath the tree, kind of. This is the inside the house antidote.
I want that. I want that.
Right. So,
no, my other behind the scene is that I am actually, everyone know that I love 420. It is not a secret. I am 420 friendly. I will continue to be. But right now I am on a detox. Just sometimes we have those moments, and I think I did it last summer. I did do it last summer. You were there for the ride for it, where I'll put down my 420 friendly things for a moment, because sometimes in life you can't numb everything. Not saying that there's nothing I need to numb right now. I'm in a good mood, but a lot of times if I feel like I'm, getting ready, like I'll set it down, because I know when God speaks to me, it's like, you need to feel this, because you got to be able to talk about this. You got to be able to, and I did that last summer. Like, you got to feel this. You got to be able to take this in and talk about it, and that's what build character. But that's my other thing, is that I'm getting them, I'm doing the clean, eating the water. I'm day 2, 420. I'm doing 10 days, and then y'all know on the 11th day, I'm gonna smoke a blunt and possibly.
Yeah.
This is boundaries, and we're gonna wrap it up. Do you have an affirmation for me today?
You know what? I was thinking about it as we were talking, right? And let's see. What I thought about was, because some boundaries you need to let go and some you need to establish.
Yes.
So, let's see. I trust that I am grounding myself. I trust that I am grounding and navigating myself to establish and release the boundaries that help elevate me to my highest existence.
I just soaked all that in, honey. We love that. I love that. That was so dope. I love that. I love that. In Organics, please feel free to inbox us, email us. We will respond. We love you guys. We thank you for the journey that you have decided to take with us. We're still a work in progress, and we only want to just travel on this journey and have you guys go with us.
Yes, we got lots of fun things coming.
So don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then everything will be below for us individually on Instagram and our social media, and us collectively. And we love you.
Love you.